Lorenzo Gillouglee, better known as Jack, was the first Rockford police officer slain in the line of duty. By 1917, Jack had been an officer for 4 years. He was a patrolman for the South Main beat. He always had a big smile on his face and was very popular with the men and women who worked in the shops on his beat. On Saturday, October 13, 1917, Gillouglee had finished his shift and, still in uniform, was walking home on South Main Street. It was 6:15 p.m. and Jack was completely oblivious to the scenario that was playing out just a few streets away. Earlier that day, Charles E. Jackson had arrived in Rockford by train in the hopes of reconciliation with his wife, Florence. The couple was separated and Florence was living with her sister, Marion. Jackson went to the Kraft 5 and Dime store where Florence was working about 3 p.m. Florence refused his pleas to reconcile. Jackson left, but returned later. He watched as she and her sister left the back entrance of the 5 and Dime and hurried up the street. Jackson caught up with them and told Marion to leave them alone. She left as they turned the corner onto South Main Street. Florence saw her chance to get away from Jackson when she noticed Patrolman Jack Gillouglee walking in her direction, and she stepped in front of the officer. She was just about to tell him that she was with her estranged husband and that he had just threatened to kill her. Florence never had the chance to speak. As soon as she stepped toward the officer, her husband pulled a weapon from his overcoat and fired. The shot missed Florence but was so close that it went through her hat. Jackson fired 2 more shots in quick succession, both of them striking Gillouglee in the upper chest. He fell to the ground. Florence fell over him and cradled his head, turning her back toward her husband. Jackson must have thought he had struck both the officer and his wife. He raised the gun to his own temple and pulled the trigger. When Florence saw Jackson fall, she got up and walked away. Gillouglee was transported to Rockford Hospital, where he later died.